people can chat on there or something. I guess it's just me and you showing.
Hello, I'm Sonya
Yeah.
Ashley, the founder and CEO of Phallus on Purpose.
So the
where we
video should
support
be
low-income
showing now.
single mothers, providing them with the resources and tools needed to aid and support their professional and personal development.
Just hang it on.
Okay, so we live. I hope it wasn't a delay. I don't even know. Like we having storms over here, so I don't know what's going on. What's up, guys? What's up, and welcome to another Sonya's Boss Up Corner. We're gonna have a good one because the weather is trying to mess up our reception. So it's all good though. But as you guys come in, you know what to do. You know what to do. Drop the city and state where you're checking in from. We are super excited. I have a good one today, guys. A good one. Oh my goodness, we have a beautiful queen in the building. My sis, she like a long lost sis, like from day one. It's crazy from day one. We met, the connection is crazy. So guys, as you come in, let us know where you're checking in from. We're excited. Science Boss Up Corner, where we're all things boss life, boss up, and we're boss ladies, okay? Just doing our thing in our own right. And we're so excited to have the wonderful Tyann in the building. Yes, guys, welcome her. Welcome her to the Boss Up Corner. So yeah, invite your friends. Make sure you share this video. Invite your friends, and just let them know we are on. We are on, and to come on in and visit with us for the next 30 minutes or however long. We're just gonna let it flow. So I will get out the way. I'm gonna stop chatting, but I do want to tell a quick story how we met. Right? Like it's crazy. I think we met online, right? I think it was like through LinkedIn or something.
It was
yes.
through LinkedIn.
Yes.
Through LinkedIn. And the K Reed show. The K Reed show website.
Oh, yes, it was.
Because I reached out to you when I saw you on the K Reed. I'm like, I have you on LinkedIn. You're like, what? I'm like, yes.
Wow. And that's what it was. And I didn't even know he like ran the story or you saw me on his platform. So that was like great. Yeah, that was like great. So we, it was LinkedIn. And so after that, we just stayed connected, right? Never met in person. It's just like we did a Zoom and we just like been connected ever since. It's amazing. It's just amazing. So guys, welcome my dear friend, my sister Tyann to the Sonya Boss Up Corner. How are you, sweetie?
I'm doing good. And you?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for just taking the time to come on and agreeing to come on and share tonight. Because I know we both had some crazy stuff going on. I mean, not just for the week, but even today. So I appreciate you just pulling it together, honey, and just showing up. Yes, ma'am. So tell us a little bit about you, Tyann. You're married, single, kids.
Yeah, I'm married. I'm born and raised in California. Well, he just retired, so we're a military family. We've been married for about 7 years, but together for 10 years. And he just retired from the Air Force. And so I had 2 kids from a previous relationship, and then I have my youngest who's 9, and that's with my husband.
Oh, nice. So it's a blended family.
It's a blended military family.
Yes, and then me coming from military family, like my husband is retired Army, and my son just got out. Yes, Army, and then my daughter is Air Force. So yeah, she's retired Air Force. So everyone, that military life. So I totally get it, totally understand. So in the blended family, that's us as well, because he had previous, kids and then my kids put together. But it's been great. It's a lot of work, but it is a great thing. It
I
is.
don't know
It's a
about that
lot of
work
work.
part.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But marriage is a good thing. It's a good thing.
That's
You
right.
just work at
Definitely a
it, and then
blessing.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, tell us a little bit about your business, like the name of your business. What do you do?
Okay, so I'm a licensed life insurance agent, and actually, so I'm a licensed life insurance agent, but I'm non-captive. So I work independently through a marketing company, and through that marketing company, I'm contracted with multiple companies depending on what type of products they have. So,
Mm-hmm.
like for example, like I'm the type of life insurance that's like this. If you go to McDonald's, they only serve McDonald's food, right? You only have what they have to offer on the menu. But for me, I'm like the food court. It's like, okay, what are your needs? And so I find the best product that's out there with some of the top companies. And so that's what I do. And I do a new type of life insurance, which is called living benefits. And I also do annuities, helping people with their retirement plans.
I love that. So, what made you go into that field, that line of work? Like,
The
tell us a
funny
little
part
bit.
is I did not choose it. I
Wow.
mean, I don't think there's any life insurance agent that says, I want to do life insurance. Like I was called into it. I on it to be completely honest with you, God called me into it, and it's just that's how I came about it. My background is like administrative.
Mhm,
Did a lot of administrative stuff, and then I was at the time I was kind of, God was pulling me towards something else, and I couldn't figure it out because one day I went to work, and then I'm like, what is this? I just was not happy. But
mm.
I've always left jobs after 2 years. And
Really?
yeah, oh, yes. So, I would always leave a job, and I'm like, I was never really happy. I would always leave a job after 2 years, and I wasn't looking for a career. It was just like just to get something, just to get by.
Mhm.
And, around 2018, I went to work one day at this, I was a scheduling coordinator for a home health agency,
Okay.
and then, I went to the office one day. I'm like, I do not like it here. Like, what's wrong? What is this feeling? And it lasted for weeks. And I'm like,
Mm.
something is wrong. So I called one of my really good friends, and she's like, the Lord is trying to call you to do something else. I'm like, but I'm not good at anything. you know, you know what I mean? Like,
Or you
what
just
is it
didn't know
to
what
do?
it
you
was.
know?
Yeah.
And so that was a journey within itself. And God was just using people and signs that it's time to get out of where I was. And I
Mhm.
wanted to put it in my 2 weeks notice, not even knowing where I was going to go. And
Really?
yeah. And on my last day at work, well, what really triggered it is I had someone who called me and said, hey, you know what, you were on my mind. And I said, well, that's crazy. That's not crazy that I'm on your mind. I'm at this job, I'm not feeling happy, and this is what I'm going through, and I've been praying about it. I've tried to figure out, like, Lord, what is there for me to do? I'm like the underdog. I don't have like a this education and all that stuff, and I'm like, what's going on? And so she was like, you're on my mind, and there's this position I think you should interview for. And so I called the job. They scheduled an interview. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't think it's going to work because of, those are working hours. I don't know if they're going to let me take
Mhm.
the time off. So then I asked for time off, and the supervisor was very rude. She's like, you need to put in a 2 weeks notice or something if you're going to. And that's when it's like, hold on, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I can't even leave if I wanted to, and that kind of triggered things. And so I told her, the next day I prayed about it and stuff. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna put in my 2 weeks notice. Not saying it was the best route to go, but
Mhm.
I did. I was like, I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice. So the next day I came in and I said, hey, and I put in my notice, and everybody was shocked. They're like, where are you going to go? What are you going to do? I'm like, I don't know. you know, I
You
don't
just
know.
wasn't happy then.
Yeah, I don't know if God's telling me to leave, but you know what? If I want to leave, like, I have to put in a notice. It's just, it was just too much that had happened. So, I was in it was like a 3-story building at the time because I was in a
Mhm.
suite, and then literally the last day of work, one of the supervisors went to hand me a check, And then a lady came in, and she was just casually, introduced herself, and she's like, "Hey, I'm on the first floor, and I'm with blah 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 company." And and I was just introducing myself. "Do you love snacks?" And I'm thinking like, okay, like this is awkward. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm never gonna see you again. I've been here all this time and I've never seen you before, right? And
Wow.
so she was, so then I'm like, okay, whatever. Wasn't even thinking about her. And the supervisor gave me my last check. She said, "I want to, take you to go eat and stuff like that." And we did, but I kept thinking about this girl. And I was like, you know
Mhm.
what? I kept thinking about the girl that introduced herself and stuff like that. And then so I went back to the building after we ate, and I was like, "Hey," her name was Stella, and I said, "Is Stella here?" She said she works at this company. And then one of the gentlemen said yes, so we brought her, and I said, "Girl, let me tell you something. My supervisor, like, I was literally handing me my last check, and you're over here talking about like, what do you like to eat?" I'm
Wow.
like, "What do you do?" Like, and she
Yeah.
told me what she did, and it was life insurance. And
Mhm.
about 3 years before I got the job that I left, I
Mhm.
was introduced to it because I was looking for a job at the time, because I
Mhm.
wasn't I wasn't working. I quit jobs every 2 years, and they introduced me to it, and I was completely sold. But at the same time, I made so many excuses. I'm like, I don't know. It just felt so foreign
Mhm.
to me. Like, I don't know. Like, I can't. I don't know if I could do it. So I trained for it and everything. And I told the guy, "You know what? I think I'm gonna get another job." And he was like, "Please, Tyann, don't ever forget about this. Like, this is an opportunity where you can be in
Mhm.
business yourself, and it'll give you different life." Well, I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll come back." And
Mhm.
2 years later, I didn't go with that company, but here I am now.
Here you are.
To add something in here, and the
Okay.
reason why I like to tell people this, I know this is like really, this is not something that everybody talks about, but do you know that before I met my husband, you
Mhm.
know, I was struggling really bad because I was a single mom,
Mm.
for a long time. And then I'm like, what can I do? Because I didn't like, I was making $10 an hour at the time. And I'm
Mm.
like, what can I do? Because I want to become wealthy. Like, I don't want to live like this. I don't know anybody else who lives like I've always thought, like, is there
Yeah.
more to life than this? But is it
Mhm.
only if you have a degree, or, you're a doctor or whatever? And so it took me a year, but guess what? I decided I was going to do
Wow. Wow.
escort, escorting. I was going into escorting. I was
Oh,
going to become an escort.
wow.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yes.
you had just got to the point where you was just tired. I know you said every 2 years. So you think it was just that you were searching, like, that you just wasn't happy. You were really searching for your purpose, like in
Yeah, it
your
was well,
passion.
it was at the time, I grew up in church and everything, and my mom was a praying
Mhm.
mom, but I
Mhm.
was like, there's no opening, no Bible, no nothing, and I wasn't really thinking about God, but I was thinking
Mhm.
like, you know what? I'm tired of struggling. I'm tired of getting, by $10 an hour, and then if I wanted something, if I wanted to be in a different position in life, but I
Yeah.
just didn't know how I would get
Wow.
there, given
Yeah.
that, I don't have that background for that. I'm not the
Mhm.
sharpest tool in the shed. I've always been able to talk, I'm a talker,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
as far as everything else, I'm like, I'm tired of struggling and living
Mhm.
like this. So it's
Mhm.
crazy when I think about, like, when people say, well, how did you get where you're at and all that other stuff? What made you decide? It's like, well, I really decided to be an escort, but for some reason, it's like a different type of wealth. Like, Lord, I wanted to be wealthy in that, and somebody actually introduced me. I'm like, I would never do something like that. And that's a whole different world. And it took me a
Mhm.
whole year
Mhm.
to plan, prepare.
Mhm.
I'm talking about professional. I was serious about it. It took me a year
Wow. Uh-huh.
prepare to
Mhm.
become wealthy doing this,
Mhm.
you know. Yeah. So
Well, I love
yeah.
that. I love the little story. I mean, because it's really like, what we do, just helping women find their purpose. But you saying, I was just searching like every couple of years, I'm quitting. And then I was like, look, I'm going to go into escorting because, the money looked real good over there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, here's what, you know what I mean? Like, you would think, when people think about it, they think like, you see somebody out in the street wearing pumps and a skirt walking up and down, but this is a whole, like, these people live a different life, and I'm like, this is
Mhm.
a whole different world. And it took me a year, but I was like, you know what? This is going to be my ticket to wealth. This is going to be something that's going to get me where I need to go. And I won't have to struggle anymore being a single mom. And at the time, I was like, I'm not going to get married. Like, that's not going to happen. That's what I figured. I'm like, I just didn't see myself as being a wife at all. you know, it's like,
Wow.
I'm not going to be a wife. I didn't desire that.
Oh, you didn't. So
No,
that's
I did
where
not.
God had a different path for
Yeah,
you.
completely
And
different path. Yeah. I was
totally
not
different.
I was not Miss Betty Crocker, loving, wanna just one day have a white picket fence and get married. That was not in my plans.
And here you are, a married woman.
Right.
Right. Wow. And guys, as you come in, we appreciate you. Hello, I think Gloria, Mama Cox is in the house. Aisha, I think I saw your name. Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate you. And if you have any questions, guys, you just drop it in the chat. If you have any questions for Miss Tyann, we are going to put it in the hot seat a little later. So drop those questions in the chat. And we appreciate you joining us. So that's crazy. That's weird. You say, hello. Hey, Wanda. Thank you so much for joining. That's weird.
Oh,
You said that you just didn't, you came out of that job and you just wasn't happy and you gave your notice and everything. Cause I know I was in that situation, just miserable, just so you,
yeah.
and then it's not like the job is hard. It's like, the job,
Right.
do it from the, with my hands tied behind my back and,
Mhm.
coming from, I was in banking and I was just so miserable though. Did it for years, was in it for years, but I knew I wanted more. I knew God had a different calling in my life, a higher calling. And I'm like, this is not it. So I know that feeling of being somewhere and like, that is not my purpose. That's not what God would
Right.
have me, so you're walking in every day, you're miserable, you're unhappy. And so, yeah, ultimately, decided to, I tried leaving, but the pandemic had to hit for me to,
Oh,
ultimately
no.
to walk away.
I walked
Yeah,
away long before the pandemic. So when that
yeah.
pandemic hit, people were scrambling. I'm like, listen, y'all told me I was crazy to leave the 9 to 5 and do what I do now, and that is the
Mhm.
least of my worries.
Wow. And then that's what it said. And then now you're loving it, right? I mean, that's just
Yeah,
something that
I
you just
I
love doing.
always had a passion to help people. Like the the thing that got me stuck at jobs is I'm like, I want to make more of an impact. Like there's got to be something bigger
Yeah.
that I can do to help people. And it sucks
Yes.
because the home health agency that I worked for, I would hear patients and I would hear them listening and I would have somebody in the background saying, "You got to get off the phone." It's like you don't care. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
this is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like so I've always had a
Mm-hmm.
passion to help people. And then
Mm-hmm.
when I was introduced to this industry, I'm like, wow, you really are helping people. So it's like it kind of ties together. It's so weird, but I never thought it would be through life insurance, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's my thing. It's like you want to do more. You just want to do
Right.
more. You want to help from the inside out and just really make an impact on their life. And that's what
Mhm.
I'm about. Nonprofit and focus on purpose, and then venturing off into my consulting business, the coaching. It's just all about really because my ultimate goal is helping women to ultimately find their
Uh,
purpose, to find, discover, and find out what it is that God created you for. I mean,
yeah.
let's like that's where you're gonna find, that love and passion, whatever wakes you up in the morning, and
Mhm.
just gets you going. So that's my thing, just really just creating, just impacting the lives of not just women, but just anyone I come in contact with, just trying to make a difference. That's what it's about.
Right. Right. And I've always been, for me, it's like, if he could do it for me, somebody with the background that I had, and with the way that I am, if you know me personally, he could do it for anybody, and so I want other women to know that it's possible. And when we talked, being a single mom, I know how that, like, literally not
Mhm.
even knowing, when the next meal was coming in. I mean, it was really bad and rough. And I thought, like, is this life? There has to be more than this. And
Yeah.
then also thought about, what did I see growing up, and what
Mhm.
do I want for, my kids? It's like, no. But then what's hard is you don't know how to get there, you
Yes.
know? If that was for me, it's like, but what do I do from here? How do I do,
Yes.
and then you kind of
Mm,
devalue yourself, and then you find yourself wanting to go into escorting, thinking that that's
yeah.
a to
Going
help
to
you.
leave that person behind, the stripping and everything. Because as a single mother, it puts you in a tough position. I mean, like I know that I walked in those shoes, single mother of three. Like
Mm,
not knowing where a meal gonna come from, losing my house, my car, all these different things. So I know those
mm,
struggles. So that passion and that love come from. Like I wouldn't wish that on my enemy. Like
right.
however I can help. That's what my heart. That's where my heart is. It's
Mhm.
just helping, reaching out to those single mothers because I was there, and I know what that's like, and I know those decisions you have to make. Like that's really tough.
Right.
Like, who says, "Yeah, I
Yeah.
want to just wake up one day. Yeah, I want to be a stripper. I want to go escort." No, but when you walking in those shoes, and you have to make decisions, and you have these babies looking you in the face.
Yeah.
They would need to eat. You got to keep a roof over their head. So single mothers, that's my passion and my heart, know the hardships and those pains that we can deal with as single mothers. So I definitely know that. So let's move on. The name of your business. Tell us the name of your business.
Well, I've like struggled with because I work independently. So it's like I've
Mhm.
changed it so many times, but at least as of right now, it's Entrepreneur Her Financial Solutions, like entrepreneur and then slash her, HER, financial solutions. So, and I
Yes.
love wearing stilettos, and heels.
And how did you come up with that name? Because I love it. I was like, it's so different.
Yeah, well, I saw a lady that it was like a LinkedIn post, and I seen her saying entrepreneur her, and I was like, I absolutely love that.
Yes.
So I'm like, how can I tie it into? And at the time, I was like about, I want to say like 2 years ago, when I was trying to think of like a, business name, someone told me, well, you're always in heels, so try to incorporate something, that has to do with something. I don't know. So that's how I came up with the name.
I just love it. I just absolutely love it. I mean, because when I saw it, I'm like, oh, I like that. It's catchy.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something catchy, and I really liked it too. And I'm like, wow, and I've seen a couple of other women say that too, and I'm like, I really like that. So kind of made it my
Yes,
own right now.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, oh my goodness, it's been a pleasure just sitting here, just chatting, and and our stories are so similar. That's what I think our connection for
Yeah,
come.
we connected
Yes,
really.
yes, ma'am. Our stories are so similar. That background. So I think that's where I mean, from day one, we just connected and just stayed. Stayed. It's like sisters. I was like, this like my twin, my long lost
Right.
twin.
I'm like,
I
wait
was
a
like, what? Like what I'm thinking, you thinking, and you texting me and said, well, I'm like, what?
minute.
So that's when them spirits connect, like the same
Right,
hearts connect,
exactly.
spirit connect, and I'm like, wow, like
Mhm.
where have you been?
Right. God definitely connected us together. He
Yes,
did.
and that's what it's about, just sticking together, supporting one another. I mean, we never met in person, but honey, we on that phone, we texting, we keeping up with
Right.
each other, supporting each other however we can. And that's what it's about. That's what it's about. And I love that. We can, as far as the single mother history, we can't, we connect in that way. But now happily married, you finding the love of your life. I'm
Right.
married to the love of mine, and my wonderful husband just stepped in, and God just had a different path for us. Because I know, honey, I was planning to do some other stuff too. I was like, look, I need
Right.
some
You're like,
money.
well, I was planning on doing something else. Everybody, a lot of people ask me, and a lot of times I get inspired. I'm like, what made you start this company, or what made you do that? And they're like, oh, I always, had a passion for this, or they kind of knew. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like I was literally called into what I do. And
Yeah.
then it's like loving what you do. And then
Yes.
it ties into the gifts that God has given you as well.
Mm.
And it's just like, wow, this is what it feels like to walk in your purpose.
Purpose, yes.
Yeah.
Walk in your purpose, honey. And I love it because that's what I'm all about. That's what I said, when you find that passion and that love and you love what you're doing, you walking in your purpose.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. So tell everyone, all our viewers, before we get out of here, how can we stay connected to you? How can we support you?
You can stay connected to me through via LinkedIn if you have a LinkedIn account. I don't know if you can type it in there or I have it to
Let
get it
me
connected.
see.
LinkedIn.
Okay, so I
I
have the
know.
website up. Let's see.
Okay. I know that I also have my personal email. I have my phone number. I'm always open with my phone number as
Okay.
well. And here,
Mhm.
Facebook. I don't
Okay.
really use Facebook for business, but I mean, it's always a good thing to stay connected. Everybody who's on here knows what I do and knows about me now,
Mhm.
so we can connect on here as well.
Yes, ma'am. And so I have the email up. I have your email up. Guys,
Okay.
go ahead and make sure you follow her. You can jot down this email so you can reach out to her, if you're in need of services. And you also do, I know at some point you was going to start the mentoring thing, like mentoring her. So we're working on
Yes,
it, right?
right. As a matter of fact, so that's, I talked about product, right? The living benefits and the
Mhm.
annuities, but I always say that the number one product that I sell is the opportunity. So to come on,
Mm.
anyone that comes on, I can mentor them, so I have a mentorship program. I was actually working on it before, my
Mhm.
sister had passed away, but
Yeah.
that's something that I'm still passionate about is having more people come on board with me and just mentoring them under the program that I have. And so if you're looking for an opportunity, if you're a single mom or whatever, or if you're not a single mom and you're still looking for
Mhm.
opportunity, definitely, contact me, reach out to me and let me know and we can make it happen.
Yes, ma'am. I love that. I love that. And yeah, we definitely going to be, connecting and trying to put some things together, partnering.
Mm,
I just love what you're doing. Love your story, the story behind it, and then your website. Tell us the website. I do have it up. I do
mhm.
have it up. Yeah. So I just want
Oh,
you.
it's kind of under the bio part.
Okay.
Wow. Completely. Let's not talk about that. All right. We got to work on the bio part.
Yeah, it's totally fine. So I know when I went on the web, when you go on the website, you see this beautiful picture of her, and it has your information, so they can reach out to
Yeah,
you.
you can reach out to me and I'll tell you more about. I'll fix that bio part. Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. Completely forgot about it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But yeah, at least we know how to stay in touch with you. You go to the website is up. Here's the email. I'll show that one more time. And I want to make sure I'm saying it correctly. It's Entrepreneur Financial Solutions.
Yes, entrepreneur, her financial.
Her financial solutions, yes, ma'am. So reach out to Miss Tyann and stay connected to her. Go follow on social media, and just make sure we supporting each other. That's what it's about. And you guys, in the Boss Up Corner, we all about supporting our sisters, lifting them up, and just staying connected. That's what it's about. We're in this together. So yes, guys, we're gonna get out of here. We appreciate you sticking with us and staying with us the whole
Thank you.
time.
Thank you for
Yes,
having me. It's a blessing. It's always a blessing meeting with you. I can't wait
yes,
to meet in person.
yes. I can't wait. That's gonna be the way we connect. Just on texting and,
Right.
email. When we see each other, we probably just gonna not gonna let each other go.
I'll probably cry. It'll be a color purple moment. Color
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's what I said. You are a beautiful soul. It's been a pleasure. And guys, thank you. That's it. We do this every 2 weeks, honey, and they come back. They come back and they support me. I appreciate you. Miss Tyann, she appreciates you
Thank you.
just showing up, and make sure you go follow on all social media. I have the email up, and we appreciate you guys. So until next time, Sonya's Boss Up Corner, we are out. We appreciate you. Until next time, in 2 weeks, we'll see you back here, same time, same place. And remember, we love you and your fabulous on purpose, and we're here for you. All right. So we love you guys, and y'all take care. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye, everybody.